I don't know why I'm having a really, really hard time starting this video today. It's been about a month since we went back to school, and at first I wanted to say that I'm kind of struggling with it, but that wouldn't actually be an accurate statement. It has stretched me to my capacity organization-wise because I have kids in 3 different school buildings and then a little one in a different program. And, well, obviously having the amount of kids I have always poses some, logistical problems. They were all in the same school last year except for the one little one. And this year it's very different. But you know what? We've made it. I figured out the routine to get them there. I figured out the routine to get them picked up. It's all working. Knock on my window because I don't have wood to knock on. I haven't lost anybody's uniforms yet. I probably have an almost obsessive way of handling it. But right now it's working. So I'm not going to knock it. I'm going to try to maybe figure out a little bit more of a relaxed system, but I'm not there yet, and that's okay. I'm new to uniforms for this many kids, and I haven't had to deal with a uniform since like 2015. So it's been a few years since I've had to deal with school uniforms. But anyway, so it's funny. I've wanted to pop back on for so long. And I don't know if I just can't get my thoughts together, or if I don't really have anything to say, or probably just my brain is overwhelmed with the amount of things I need to remember. And so I don't have any space for anything else. I mean, even this, it took me 5-6 times at this point to hit the record button. Anyway, so I have found myself somewhere I don't really want to be. I guess sickness has found me again, or honestly, I don't know, paid me a visit, or maybe just it's been brewing and I've been not really paying attention to it, and then it got out of control. So I think something is flaring again. I have this all over my chest. My face is like itchy and red, and my gastritis has come back in full swing. I think it's gastritis. I don't know what it is. I think it is because it feels like it. I have gotten to the point where I cannot eat solid food without severe pain. I can eat it in the sense now that I can keep it down, but if I eat, I'm basically doubled over after. So I'm not really eating. It's really frustrating because if I were to look down, like if I were to get up out of my car and look down, to look at my feet, I see what looks like a pregnant belly. And I'm not pregnant, and I haven't really eaten the equivalent of a full meal in days. So I don't really understand why that's happening, but I guess that's why I'm going to the doctor instead of trying to figure it out myself, because I am not a medical expert, and that's kind of out of my league. So I went to my gastro yesterday. In the morning prior to that, I went to the lab. I had 12 vials of blood taken. I have to go back for about 7 more. The lady wanted me to split it up because she was worried I'd pass out. I probably should have just done it all at once, because now I have to find time to go back. And I've done 19 tubes before, but it wasn't pleasant. And by the end, they had to like manipulate my arm and do stuff to get it to work. So she probably was right, and it probably was better that I listened to her. But I had 12 tubes yesterday. I had to do a urine test. I have to do some more testing, and then I get to go for more lab work. I'm hoping to get there Monday, because today I don't think I'm going to get there. I am waiting to find out when I am going for a gastric emptying test. So basically, I get to eat some food with contrast in it and see how long it takes to leave my system. I am going for an endoscopy, if I'm saying it right. I'm going for another colonoscopy, so that should be fun. Just to try to figure out what's wrong with my stomach, because I can't eat. I can, even drinking hurts, but I know if I don't drink anything, then I'm going to end up in the hospital dehydrated. So I am still doing that. I see my rheumatologist next week, which is actually just convenient timing because this appointment was booked months ago. I see my functional doctor next week. So we get to go over some lab results there. I am not sure, honestly, if a small dose of a medication that I was put on caused me to have this problem. I was put on a really small dose of a GLP-1 for a lot of different reasons. It's kind of the funny thing when you go to a functional doctor, like there is like one element that is the actual reason, but then there's like secondary reasons where it's like, yeah, it's not proven, but we also think, fill in the blank. And, I'm not sure if it contributed, if it flared up my gastritis, if it's just stress. My primary care doctor seems to think that stress is kind of doing me in right now. I saw her back on the 25th. So we'll see. I am waiting for a shipment in the mail of an elemental diet. My, the functional doctor I see, when I was explaining like how sick I am, I said, I can't like eat. Is there anything that I can, just drink instead? Cause liquid hurts, but I can keep it in a little better and it hurts less. And so after some back and forth conversation and, review of symptoms and things that, I've known about this for a long time. I just have not gotten to the point yet, but I'm officially there where I am going to be doing an elemental diet. So I don't know a ton about it yet, aside from the fact that I take a scoop of this stuff, I mix it in water. You have to drink it within an hour or put it in the fridge. And that everything is basically broken down for you. Like, I think of it like baby formula, but for adults. So that's supposed to be coming next week. Fortunately, I do actually have an appointment with my doctor prior to it getting to my house, or maybe if it comes on the earlier side of, the like window of days it could come, I'll get it the day before, but I won't start it until I talk to my doctor. And I'll get the details of like, do I just have that? Do I have it with like other things in combination? I've known about the elemental diet for a really long time. It's just something that I was hoping to avoid. Basically, everything's broken down. It's so your body doesn't have to do really any work to use it. And it can be really helpful when your digestive tract is having as many feelings as mine is, to give it a break and just let it focus its energy on healing itself and repair versus, trying to digest your food. I had been trying and failing to stay on a carnivore diet. I kind of became a little bit more what I guess you'd call meat-based, where like some other things were getting mixed in. But the medication that I was put on gave me really bad meat aversions and just honestly got me to the point where like I just, like if you talked about food, it grossed me out. So I'm sure that didn't help. I guess I took a bet on something to see if maybe it would fix one problem, and it just caused, or at least helped contribute to some others that, I've had before. These aren't new issues, but there's no way for me to know right now if this medication contributed to making it worse, or if it was going to happen and it's just an awful coincidence. So anyway, so I start that next week. I had another thought and I lost it, but that's okay. So that's where I am. So I don't know, I'm trying not to be too discouraged and just feel like everything I did is for nothing, because it's not true. Everything that I have done has a purpose. Everything that I have done helped get me to a better place when it worked. It helped me have a better mindset when things stopped working. That, what, it sucks that I'm here again, but I've been here before and I've made it to the other side, and this is just another low where I just got to get through it. And I will, because if for no other reason, I am stubborn and I am not willing to not. But yeah, just another turn in the story. And maybe this will be one of the final chapters. I've finally gotten so bad that I'm going to take a really radical step. And maybe that will just be will be it. You know, I'm not going to say I'm at rock bottom, because I'm not. I know I'm not at rock bottom. But, you know, I do try to keep the perspective of the beauty of falling down is that you can get back up. And I think, you know, one silver lining of being sick that I would have loved to have learned a different way, you know. I would really, really have liked to learn in a different way, but it has made me aware of just how much I need to actually appreciate being okay when I'm okay. You know, I think of all of the things now that I'm so excited for that I probably never would have cared about before. I would have never probably thought twice about not eating without pain. I would have never thought twice about being able to open something or to sit and write for hours without pain. I probably never would have even thought about, like, I just wrote out a single envelope and it didn't hurt. Because when you don't experience the opposite of it, you don't even think of it. It's just your normal. You know, it's normal to do so many things. It's normal to stand up and walk without pain. It's normal to be able to eat. It's normal to not break out in weird rashes. Like, these things are normal, right? For a lot of people. But I think I might actually want to rephrase that. I think they're normal until they're not. They are normal until you experience the opposite. They are normal until you hit, I used to be able to, and now I can't. And then I think when you come back around and you can have a meal without being in pain, you can write out a letter without hurting, you can get up and walk and not wince, you appreciate it. You appreciate it when you're well, because you know what the opposite is. You know, like, think about, like, when you get, like, a cold, right, and you can't breathe out of your nose and it's so miserable, and then you can breathe again. Like, once you get better, you can breathe again, and it's amazing, and you appreciate being able to breathe out of your nose. And then it becomes normal, and then you stop appreciating it because it's your normal again. You're not sick. And I think that, you know, I do sometimes find myself frustrated and feeling like being sick has taken away a lot from me, because it has. It's taken a lot from me. It has also given me a perspective that I never would have come to otherwise. And I'm just going to try to focus on being thankful for that, because I could very easily go down the rabbit hole of, poor me, this sucks. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? What did I do wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Why me? But instead, I'm just going to be thankful that for a little while I felt better. I am going to have faith that I will get back to that point, and maybe even better. And instead of saying, why me, I'm just going to say, why not? Why not me? Because you know what? I'm stubborn. I don't give in easily. I don't like anybody to tell me what I can and can't do. So why not? Why not take those things that maybe could be personality flaws, right? Like being stubborn and pig-headed, and turn them into something useful, where I am just too stubborn to stay sick. I am too stubborn to accept that this is the rest of my life. I am too stubborn to hear there's nothing we can do for you. And I am going to find something that I can do for me. And then maybe some good will come out of it. Maybe I will figure out something that helps. And it will help nobody but me. But then my kids can watch their mom show up and figure something out and come on the other side. Or maybe I find something that does help somebody else and they can use it too. But either way, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to amount to. I don't know if it's even going to matter to anyone but me. And I'm not going to pretend to be so important that something I figure out is going to do anything for anybody else other than myself. And if I'm the only one I help, I'm honestly at this point okay with that too. Because if I managed to help myself, then I did something that so many others couldn't. So, yeah. So I am glad it's Friday. I am glad that tomorrow morning I don't have to wake up and know where any uniforms are or remember who's getting what at school that day for lunch. And, well, I'm happy to do that Monday through Friday. I'm always thankful for Saturday morning when my brain can just turn off for a little bit. I'm going to go hopefully get some more labs done at some point. I am going to try to show up as best as I can for everybody around me. And I'm going to try to just give myself a little bit of grace because, it's like 10 right now and I'm doing okay, but there's still a lot of day ahead of me. And by bedtime tonight, I might just be ready for bed. And that's okay. That doesn't mean I failed. Doesn't mean I didn't pass the test. Just means that I'm human. And I am doing the best that I can with what I have. So I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to go in the house and get ready for the rest of my day.